going to be in the area where there will be vineyards, 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 vineyards. And like even my grandpa Winkler, whose farm was north of Tyndall, my mother's side of the family, my grandpa Winkler had a big vineyard on the farm. Not that South Dakota, around Tyndall, South Dakota was such a great wine growing region, but I can, as I think about this now, how this all came back from the olden days. And of course, when our ancestors left Germany and went to Russia, they were encouraged. I mean, they had to plant vineyards. That was part of the stipulation. And you can see this all coming back from this area. As we're making our way out, now we are going to be in the area of the Pfalz, the Rhineland-Pfalz. You know, Germany, way back before the 1600s, was a big part of the Holy Roman Empire, which included, you know, part of France, all of Germany, a little bit of Czechoslovakia, a little bit of France, and so on and so forth. And the Holy Roman Empire was potentially Europe's greatest state at one time. But by 1600, the Holy Roman Empire was a mere shadow of what it was in its former glory. The heart of the Holy Roman Empire had been actually Germany. But by 1600, a better term for the area would have been called Germanies, as the heart of the Holy Roman Empire had been split into a mass of little principalities ruled by little princes who had serfs working under them, and the serfs worked under them, and they got a place to live, something to eat, and of course then they protected the prince. Since the time of Luther, had done what they could to extend their independence and power at the expense of the emperor. The real power within Germany lay with 30 secular and 50 ecclesiastical princes, as I was telling you. The most important states belonged to the 7 electors, men who selected the future Holy Roman Emperor. So, you know, it was really an important job to be one of those 7 people. And the reason why, and of course part of Italy was in the Holy Roman Empire too. And this part of the world, they were always afraid of the Vikings coming from out of Norway. So the Holy Roman emperors who were seated in Rome were always looked toward Germany and to the north for protection. I want to tell you about, so, you know, we talked about, you know, the Romans from the time of Julius Caesar had been as far as up into England, where you can still see part of the walls that were built up there by the Romans back in, you know, 55 BC and that part of time. So it was the Romans who planted the first vineyards here 2,000 years ago. They found the climate to be mild, wet, and very hospitable for growing grapes. Viticulture, as it is called, was flourishing, and a bustling wine trade by the time of the Middle Ages. Winemaking and splendid Romanesque cathedrals are the legacies of the bishops and the emperors from this area. The region, now called the state of Rhineland-Pfalz, or the Rhineland-Palatinate that we are going to be in, is home to 6 of Germany's 13 designated wine-growing districts, including the 2 largest, Rheinhessen and the Pfalz. My Winkler family did come from the Pfalz. And I remember the old people talking about that sometimes, about, you know, what happened back in the Pfalz. In the Pfalz, you can follow the German wine road as it winds its way north from the French border. Wine villages beckon with flower-draped facades and courtyards full of palms, oleanders, and fig trees. There's wine for sale and wine tasting signs posted everywhere. And maybe we should be drinking a wine today instead of beer, shouldn't we? No, most of the wines, most of the wines from both the Falsch and Rheinhessen are white, and the ones from Rheinhessen are often sweet, fragrant, and less dry than their counterparts from the Falsch. Many are sold as Offenwein, or wine by the glass. The classic white varieties are Riesling, Sylvaner, Müller-Thurgau, also called Rivener, Graubenberger, Pinot, how do you say that? P-I-N-O-T. Pinot is French. Okay. And Weissburgunder, Pinot Blanc. Spätburgunder, Dornfelder, Portugieser are the most popular red wines. The word Weissherbst, after the grape variety, indicates a rosé wine. Riesling, of course, is the king of German grapes. It produces wines that range widely in quality and character. Rieslings are noted for their strong acidity, sometimes flowery aroma, and often mineral-tasting notes, all reflections of the soil in which they are grown. Riesling made its name throughout the world as a sweet wine, but many Germans prefer dry versions. I don't know, I like the sweet wines. Importers, especially in the United States, don't bring over many dry Rieslings, so they take the opportunity to sample some while they are in Germany. The southernmost wine village of the Falsch lies on the French border, and as we know, Wingen, the Fry family's village, does lie on the Germany-French border.